In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to build your no money spent team from a team building aspect and also your scheme in game. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the team building aspect of this game. Now, this should be a video that even if you watch it in Madden 50, should still be the exact same way. Now, there's a couple things you're going to want to do when you're building your team as a no money spent player. First off, you're always going to want to play your solo challenges, get the free players, get a little bit of a coin stack up. And this year, we're going to use Madden 24 as an example. Right now, you could go ahead and potentially get RG3 as your quarterback right here. That is a 79 overall, but goes up to an 87. And you can also get Michael Mayer right here completely for free once again. So we got a really good tight end, a really good quarterback. Now, what I also want to talk about are things to look at on each position. So the things you're going to want to look at for a quarterback, right? Speed, obviously, getting out of the pocket, stepping up in the pocket, important. Throw power, how far you can throw the ball. Now, from an accuracy standpoint, you're looking for 85, 85, 85. That way they won't get random inaccurates. Some years that doesn't even matter though, because there's literally like no random inaccurates, but this year in Madden 24 it does matter. Now you can see right here RG3 does not hit the medium accuracy threshold, but he hits the short and the deep, and also getting a pretty high throw under pressure rating. I shoot for again around 85. And another important aspect of quarterback is release. RG3 has generic 2 as release. That's really not a good release with the gunslinger ability, so those are just things to look out for your quarterback. But again, as a no money spent player, getting a free quarterback that is this good is too valuable to pass up. That's why you're using him. Now, since he's already here, we're going to talk about Michael Mayer. For tight ends, it's a lot. We want him to be a little bit tall, 6'4", fine. 265. This is where another preference thing comes into play. When you're above that 245 weight, start to run routes a little bit different. You don't get the quick juke animation. So you might hate Michael Mayer and you might want someone a little bit like smaller, kind of built like a receiver at tight end. And this time from a route running standpoint, he hits 80 for short, 80 for medium. We're looking for 85s across the board, but again, as a free card, we'll take it. Also 70 run block. The higher the run block, the better. So he's just overall, he can do everything, right? Now, I'm only going to talk about one receiver because we're talking about overall how to build your team, right? And the person that I think is the best example of what I'm looking for a budget card, no money spent player, is none other than Tyquan Thornton. So Tyquan Thornton, what's good about him? 6'2" height, taller receivers, run routes better. He also has 87 speed. That is still up there for top end physical stats in the game. It's also a route running because with strat cards in the game, we can now use our coach strat card, our offensive strat card to get him up to 85 deep route running really, really easily. And the deep route running affects things like corner routes and a lot of stuff that you're looking to get open versus man coverage. Running back right here, really the main thing is like physical stats, in my opinion, and abilities. Since your budget, no money spent, it's going to be hard to get some of the top options. Getting someone like a Raheem Mostert, again, he is straight physical stats. I'm not saying he's anything more than that, but that's really what you're going to want to be looking for with 87 speed, 89 acceleration. Not even the best break tackle either, but again, from a physical stat standpoint, he's still relatively really good. And now let's talk about offensive linemen right here. For the most part, offensive linemen, as they go up and overall, they get better. Here are the ratings to look out for. You're looking out for pass block power, pass block finesse, and run block. Pretty much at the start of the year till like probably November, December, I'm looking for 80s across the board. Then around like November, December, looking for 85s. Then like January, February, 90s across the board. You know what I'm saying? Just slowly but surely, gradually work your way up. And a good example of someone that's actually pretty decent is Mason Cole right here, going for 15K. Has 84 pass block finesse, 82 pass block power, and 80 run block. Is someone like a Corey Linsley who, yes, he is a higher overall than him, but look at the ratings that matter, right? He has more pass block power, more pass block finesse, more run block. Also, when we talk about centers as well, their awareness rating does matter as well. That awareness rating can replace the lowest offensive lineman's awareness rating. And what that does is it helps with blitz pickup. So just get a center with high awareness as well if you can afford it. Now that was everything on offense. Defense right here, this is where a lot of it is going to be dependent on scheme. Now we're going to talk about in total, I think, 3 positions. One is going to be a piece in the secondary. Now, if you are a no money spent player, budget baller, I don't think it makes sense to run man coverage, because when you're running man coverage, you need the best cards in the game to run man coverage effectively. So what I would recommend for you to do is always run zone coverage. Even if you see everyone else running man coverage, if you cannot afford the top end options of the game, you just really can't run man coverage because your players just simply aren't as good. Now, here's an example of a pretty cheap card that we can make really, really good in a zone-based defense. I'm not saying he's a world beater, right? But Asante Samuel Jr. right here, 82 speed, that's low, right? But in a zone-based defense, speed, like, yes, it is important, but what I think is even more important is the zone coverage rating. And I'm just using him as an example. Now with strat cards in the game right now, right, we have a green zone coverage strat card that pluses 2 zone coverage to all cornerbacks. So what that means is we can go ahead and potentially get corners that have 83 zone coverage, right? And get them to that 85 tier. That is the threshold on all Madden. And I'd recommend, even if you are a no money spent player, you're a budget baller, I would say to play all Madden. Pretty much all Madden does is lower the thresholds, right? So he's going to get the top end reaction time and zone coverage compared to if you go on all pro, then he won't. And the higher overall cards with that 90 zone coverage will react faster. Again, Asante Samuel Jr., example of a piece in the secondary. We're looking for like speed, acceleration, and zone coverage is what I would recommend. Now let's go ahead and talk about in the box players real quick. So again, if you somehow are watching this in like Madden 50, hopefully they made linebackers jump again. But right now, as I'm recording this, linebackers still don't jump. But the main issue with linebackers as well, they're not statted as good as safeties. Like Jermaine Pratt right here, 6'2", 86 speed. Combine that with not being able to jump. Let's compare him to like probably the best budget user in the game, Lewisine. I mean, 85 speed, 6'2", 87 acceleration that can jump with 80 zone coverage. I'd rock Lewisine because he can jump, man. And again, this is an example of a budget in the box player slash a user. I would recommend the user safeties over linebackers. And the reason for that, again, linebackers cannot jump the way safeties can. And in my opinion, you don't really notice that big of a difference in the run game to where you would want to run linebackers. Now, Lewisine right here, 6'2", 85 speed, 87 acceleration. When we're talking about users, we're just looking at height and physical stats, right? Now, when we're talking about in the box players, that's when man and zone comes into play. So you can see right here, he's actually pretty good in a zone-based defense with that 80 zone coverage. Now, another example of in the box player is Tyson Anderson, 81 overall. Again, a 6'2" guy, 85 speed, 88 acceleration, has 80 man coverage this time. So you could flip-flop who you user, who you don't user. And these are two examples of people that are really, really good in the box. And that's what I look for in CBs and in the box players. Now, when we talk about pass rushers right here, a really good example, right, is a top end card that has lower overall versions. I hope that makes sense. Like 82 overall Bruce Smith. Why is someone like 82 overall Bruce Smith good? Well, first off, he's gonna have the same traits as his highest overall card, 88 Bruce Smith, that has every single pass rush trait on yes, the traits that we are looking for. And traits play a major part in pass rush, and I'll talk about that in a second. But 78 speed, 82 acceleration. What I'm looking for, again, at the start of the year, it's kind of the same as offensive linemen, like how it progresses. 81 block shed, 81 power moves, 80 finesse moves. That is a good defensive lineman at the start of the year. Really, really good, going for 17K. Now, when we do talk about traits as well, the bull rush trait is the power move rating. The spin and swim move trait is the finesse move rating. What you're gonna notice on some cards is, for example, they'll have like 85 finesse moves, 50 power moves or something, right? Now, if their traits only have the spin and the swim move trait on yes, you really only have to look at that finesse move rating. You don't really have to pay attention to the power move rating. And I treat defensive end the same way I do defensive tackle. I treat corner the same way I do safety. Again, when you're a no money spent budget baller, I'd recommend running a zone-based defense. Now, strictly for example right here, I'm going to randomly spin this wheel, and we're going to talk about building a scheme with the no money spin. We're just going to spin it right here. Whatever it lands on, that's the playbook we're going to use. And we actually got the Commander's playbook. Now, in this example right here too, we have 0 route running receivers with like 85 speed going up against 99 speed, 99 man coverage players. And that's the first thing you got to be able to beat, right? When you're a no money spin player, you have a budget top 3. Most people, when they see that, guess what they're going to do? They're going to instantly come out in man coverage. And one of the most common ones you could see, like a Mike Blitz type of look. Today, I'm just going to go up against like a cover 2 man at first. Now, what you're going to want to look for on the offensive playbook, I like having a tight end and running back on opposite side. It just makes it really easy to pick up blitzes when you have that. Something like a tight Y off week could work, right? Y trips week could work. Bunch X nasty right here could work. The shotgun bunch X nasty. You know what? We'll just go ahead and go with the tight Y off week though. Again, offense I haven't ran. Now, when we talk about Madden, right? There are some routes that just beat man coverage, right? There just are. So an example of that, this post wheel drag play, right? I ran Bengals offense a little bit. That post route should beat man coverage right here. So if this post does end up beating the man coverage, right, like you see he has inside leverage right there, guess what? That we missed the free form, but that is open. We'll run it again. And again, right here, if it does end up beating the man coverage, right, like you can see it has inside leverage right there. We throw it, it's caught. If you have 0 route running, it can beat man coverage. That's what we like to see. Now we're going to go ahead and press right here too. And what you would want to play around with, right? You're going to want to press man. You're going to want shade inside. You're going to want shade outside. Just see, right? And what I did as well, because I ran this once and like the wheel route was messing up, I just flatted Zay Flowers. You could streak them. You could put them on the zig. You could do whatever. But right now we're just looking at this route right here, seeing if this is a route that we could build. And right there, he just got bumped so bad. You see, this post is something we can build an entire offense around. Now, I know we don't have Howard Master, let's say, what else do we have in this formation, right? So we have a way to attack the middle of the field with that post, whether it be man or zone. Now the question is though, how do we make this good first zone? Now, something you could do is just streak B right here. And then in the middle of the field right here, you just read like, hey, what are the yellow zones doing, right? Do I have the post? Do I have the drag underneath? You know what I'm saying? Now, if they run a cover 2 type of defense this time, right? You're going to see this time that, hey, guess what? We have the drag wide open. So the user is going to have to choose whether he be in the middle of the field, whether he be on the vert hook. Is he going to guard the drag? Is he going to guard that deep post? So we have something that can work versus man, can work versus zone. And the first step to me, always find something that beats man coverage, whether it be this like post route. It doesn't even have to be this. Like, now what I'm going to do right now, right? Like, we're in shotgun. Let's try to find something under center or in pistol, something random that beats man coverage. We actually have a decent amount of stuff that can do that. So first thing right here, we'll go in the deuce close. We'll go to PAX cross right here. And again, we're going to run the shaded down 2-man. And what I would do with this play, we have a crosser, we have a post. Let's just run double drags right here and see what happens, right? And what you're going to see is, guess what? That crosser right there, he didn't have the closing speed to get open, but that's an open route, by the way. Now, certain plays do need route running to get open. This shouldn't be one. The crosser may need route running to get open, but like the post we showed really didn't. We're going to try to see if this crosser this time will get open, and this time he gets pressed to death. But what's also good is having double drags underneath, right? They have potential to run into each other where that doesn't affect route running, right? Now the crosser, now I do want to try to show the crosser getting open right here. Let's see if it can. And right here, when they didn't press, guess what? Hey, it's a route that got open. So this is how I would recommend to build your scheme as well. Find things that beat man coverage. PA scissors, again, random play that I just found under center, has a ton of posts, has corners, and this route looks a little bit familiar. This is kind of like the route we just ran in tight Y off week. Now let's just run the play base right here. Obviously Mark Andrews is really good, and he's gonna get open. But what you saw right there was our post route right here got kind of bagged, right? Our corner route right there got kind of bagged too. This time he has inside leverage, and Lamar just missed it on the pressure throw. That's a route that does have potential to beat man coverage. We kind of want to guarantee though, right? And again, right here, we're gonna run it, and he has inside leverage. Can we fit it in there? Kinda, right? And finally right here, PA boot slide. When you have something sharp cutting like Rashad Bateman's route, again, you're going to want to see if it beats man coverage, right? You're going to see off the break right there, we can throw it, and to me, looks like it's going to beat man coverage. So all those routes right there are stuff that we have that can beat man coverage. Now, I know we only really talked about when our running back is on an opposite side of the tight end, but this playbook, for instance, has some pretty good stuff where you're on the same side. Like trio halfback weak, has a crosser to the tight end, has RPO bubbles that are really good in the game right now. It has bunch strong nasty that has a lot of unique plays. Again, bunch X nasty, that's a little bit more, I don't want to say it's meta, but it's a bunch set, so it is pretty meta. I just want to show you guys ways to beat man coverage without that. Now we go back to this tight Y off week formation. When you don't have like route abilities or something, you have to take advantage of the unique routes on the playbook. So what is that? We have a corner route right here. We have a in route that's pretty interesting. We have a spot route as well. Play curls and also the play flanker spot. We have these little spot routes, right? And what's actually interesting about them is in like a zone-based defense, right? Sometimes when people really don't know what to do, they'll start double mabling you like this with the user in the middle, right? This is a defense you could potentially see. Guess what? This route right here is going to go ahead and get right into the middle of the field. And with that in route coming behind it too, that's a lot of space. We have potential to put the user in conflict. Just go through your formation, look at the unique plays, find a way to attack the sideline, which our play right here is flanker spot. And this should be something that this corner route, the way it's shaped, right? It kind of has like a sharp cut. So we're going to go ahead and do that again right here. And you're going to see that Zay Flowers, he's kind of cutting and getting open, right? You see that? So again, that might be a route that we don't need route running to get open. After we take a look at all the unique routes in the playbook, see what's good, then you're going to want to create concepts with that to take advantages of routes, right? So like a post route right here, we can run like a mesh concept right here underneath like this. This is a really popular combo in the game. We could go post slant like this, where we have a slant and out route. And again, we're attacking the middle of the field when we have a corner route attacking the sideline. So when you have a corner route that's on the short side of the field where the ball's on the right hash, right? And we are running a corner route to the right side of the field. All you need is a streak to clear this out. Now, if it were the opposite way, right? What you're going to notice is we need to motion this guy out for the deep blue or the deep third not to play it. So that's why a lot of people run like tight or bunch to the short side of the field. They're trying to hit a corner route. And then now we can run something like this where we just have a deep end route, we have a corner route, a flat, and we block our tight end for extra pass protection. Now, something else I would recommend to try as well when you're going up against something like a man coverage look, I'm gonna try to get this 3-rec out the way real quick, but see what non-route chem routes get open versus man. Like right here, we're gonna try to just fit in a smart route and in route. And again, that's no route running, right? That's no route running. If we can throw it with no route running for 99 man, 99 speed, we're going to be able to throw it up against anything, right? Like Bateman right here, we'll even run like a press shaded down man right here. And let's see a curl, a slant, and a zig, right? Is anything going to get open? Oh, the zig with 0 route running got open. Now there is one final thing that I want to touch on, and that's the reason why we have a running back and a tight end on opposite sides, right? So pretty popular blitz in the game right now is the loop blitz, right? Where they bring this dude down and they go like this. Now, if we just run this play like this, you're going to see that they kind of ran into each other, but you have potential to get looped, right? They also spread their defensive line as well. So we're going to run it like this time where we have double loopers and this dude just in a deep loop, right? So this time we're going to send 5 out, and what you're going to notice is like, oh, actually like it just randomly picked it up. Maybe we found the greatest pass pro formation of all time, but I promise you that's not how it usually goes. Now, a good rule of thumb for blitzes when you have a running back and tight end on opposite side, as long as it isn't an overload blitz, meaning they are sending 7 at you, because the user hover, that counts as one person, right? So as long as they are not sending 7 at you, like right now they're sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Good rule of thumb is to block your running back, slide away from the running back using the LB or L1 feature, and slide to the right, right? So we're going to slide to the right and then bring up the pass protection menu again, hit ID the mic, and then ID the person you want the running back to get, right? This is a pretty good rule of thumb. Now, what you're gonna notice right here is the loop blitz. It actually does get picked up still. It worked that time, right? That is not the only way to pick up blitzes though. Now, this time, right, you're gonna wanna block your running back and your tight end. And this time, same pass pro, slide to the right, ID this outside guy right here, the person you want your running back on. And when they hike the ball, right? When they hike the ball, you're gonna notice, okay, there's a man on a man, right? We love to see it. Now, sometimes though, especially with like this type of loop blitz, sometimes slide away doesn't work how you want it to. Now, this is also what I would recommend as well. If this doesn't work right here, if that pass pro doesn't work, I would go ahead and again, just block your running back versus the blitz, slide away from the running back, but this time ID the nose tackle. And if you don't have a nose tackle, I would think just the slide away and ID the outside guy would work. But in a formation like 3-3 where there's a lot of like looping pressure, this pretty much tells your offensive line to like crash in a sense. I hope that makes sense. And right there, we have a beautiful pocket. We could have stepped up. We just got shedded. But yeah, boys, that has been my thoughts and my opinions on how to be successful as a no money spent player from a gameplay and a scheme perspective. Again, just learn how to beat man coverage. It doesn't matter what playbook you run. You can find concepts that beat man coverage in any single playbook. And I think I showed that right here again. I've never ran Commander's playbook. I don't plan on running Commander's playbook, but we were able to find man beating stuff in this playbook. Again, you just got to test it out and see. And if you guys did enjoy this video, you enjoy content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We upload Madden Ultimate Team content every single day. And this has been episode number 2 of our Sunday tip series. Now, if you guys have questions for me, want to see me play live, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with the follow. We have been grinding the streams over there, so I would greatly appreciate that. Now, if you do not feel like heading over to Twitch and you want another video to watch, check this one out right here. This was my Trevor Lawrence gameplay.